Happy Easter! Hey, thanks for watching some of my videos that I'm putting out. They're a lot of fun. I've got a super fun video that I'm going to be doing. It's basically a bike project. Within that bicycle project, I'm actually going to just kind of give you a little bit of my background, what I've been doing for the last 24 years, since 1998. The bike behind me is a 1997 Trek 750 multi-track. Super cool bike. Kind of, it's a little, hey, super cool thing to do right now is to do an older bike. Let's learn a little bit about me. My name is Ted Bentley. I started working in the bicycle industry at a bike shop in Grand Blanc, Michigan at Ossenmacher Cycling Centers. 2001 to 2002, it was the fall of 2001, I moved to Holland, Michigan and worked at a bike shop called Velocity Cycles. Great group of guys, learned a ton there. Basically, I moved there as the service manager. I was a little overwhelmed, didn't know exactly what I was doing, but pulled through. And I am here today trying to help you guys learn how to work on bicycles like this. I normally don't take on bike projects because I work at a bike shop and I do these bike projects for customers all the time. But honestly, this one I'm kind of stoked about. I might bite off a little too much, because I'm kind of got huge ideas. Hey, this is my cat, Sage. He loves to sit on my shoulders when I walk around the trees outside. The bad thing is he always sits this way, so if we put him on camera, the butt's always gonna be towards you. Let's start this bike project. Trek 750, 1997. If you acquire a bike like this, or you can't remember when you purchased an older bike like this, all I did was on Google was basically just typed in Trek 750 multi-track blue. Now they did this blue color in a couple different years. I was able to fine tune it to what specific year, mostly because I found this one's website that had copies of the actual catalog from 1997, and I was to go through and look at all the parts. I had an idea of what the parts were on it, and it helped me choose that this is a 1997. If I'm wrong, it's a 96. It really doesn't matter because the project still is gonna go forward. Because really, 1998, 99, 97, 95, the same bike with different parts. The idea for this is when you get a bicycle given to you, you find it in a barn, you forgot about it in your garage, and you wanna get this going, the best thing, if you don't wanna do a project like this, take it to your local bike shop. Those guys there know exactly what they're doing, and they're there to help you along with the project. I'm just gonna kind of give you little techniques to, hey, is this bike good still? Is it worth it? I need new wheels, but I don't know what size hubs. I went to the bike shop and they said, what size hub? And I don't know what that means. So through this project, I am gonna give you as much information as I possibly can to help you either at your local bike shop or to help you in your garage of how to do this bike project on your own. It's got some Olivio Shimano center pole cantilever brakes. They actually function really well still. Gosh, do I want to keep them or not? I really don't, because I truly love a V-brake or a linear pull brake. It's got so much more power. It's like using a short reach hammer to a long reach hammer. Which one do you get more power behind? The V-brakes or the linear pull brakes is, in my mind, and this is all my opinion, so if you disagree with me, you can go ahead and put it in the comments, sure. But this is what I have been encountering for the last 24 years of working with these bikes. So I'm just going to show you how to disconnect this brake. Super simple. I put my hand right here. Thumb is on this brake arm. Right here, pull down, lift up. There's a little slot right here that cable slides through. And that's how you disconnect that. I'm gonna give you another view. Hand goes here, thumb goes here. My thumb is here because I'm holding this arm because I'm gonna be pulling this direction. So I pull down, let's see, I'm gonna switch so you can actually see. There you go. The brake now is disconnected. Sorry for the arm in the way. Disconnect that. It's got a kickstand that I'm going to remove in a couple minutes, but now let's remove this wheel. All right, now I'm going to remove the kickstand. Removed to see if I can. So if I encounter any issues, honestly, you're going to encounter them also. And then I'll give you an idea of how to take care of that stuff. I'm just hoping that the frame isn't dented in from this being too tight. I'm really digging this bike. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Originally, it had 700 by 38C tires. I'm probably going to use 38 or 40s. It really depends because the rims that I am thinking of using are a Velocity Quill rim. So it's a little on the fatter side, so it might not allow me to use a 38C tire. Let's go ahead and wipe this bike down, this area, see how bad it looks. Just a little paint worn off, nothing major. Honestly, I'm thinking about painting this frame. So yeah, I could care less about how the scratches on the frame. I don't really care for this blue. As a kid, I loved blue, but it's nothing special to me now. All right, now we're gonna remove the chain. So I just grabbed my chain tool. Super simple. All right, let's remove these pedals. This could be a tough one depending on who put the pedals on originally, or when's the last time they've been removed, have they had any grease put on them. All that was nice and easy. Super simple. They got no grease on them, but they removed really nice. At work, I fuss with things that don't want to loosen up all the time. So truly this project, I hope it doesn't give me too many of those. Next, let's go ahead and remove the rack. It's a 9mm hex nut, excuse me. Like I said, this one here, I'm not showing you a lot of how to do something. It's more of if you're going to take a bike apart. But coming up with the videos of when I build this bike, that's when I plan on showing you a lot of stuff of how to overhaul hubs, how to overhaul a headset, how to install a headset, bottom bracket. The intention with this is it's going to be a fun project bike that I'm thinking of painting the frame. I have a list of parts that I'm thinking about using. This is the front derailleur I'm removing. 9mm hex bolt. And over here there is a 5mm Allen wrench. Hex bolt. Wipe this area down. Let's look for any crushed seat tubes. If you happen to tighten that a little too much, you can crush that seat tube. But honestly, I'm kind of digging the shape that this bike is in. Now, if I happen to find a crack somewhere, then it's going to instantly make the project stop. Now let's move on to the cranks. Are these going to give me an issue? Let's see how... Nope, that was good. See the other side? Nope. Next, let's pull these cranks. So the other day I was pulling a crank at the bike shop. This is a pedal wrench. This is a crank puller. I never knew this. It fits. Honestly, for me, I'm mind blown on it. But working at a bike shop since '98, and I've always used an adjustable wrench or a crank puller that had some leverage on it. And the other day I was using one that didn't, but similar to this. I couldn't find the adjustable wrench. And I tried a pedal wrench, and I don't know why I tried a pedal wrench, and it fit beautifully. It works awesome because a pedal wrench generally has a ton of leverage. All right, when removing a bottom bracket on a bicycle, I always work from the right side, the drive side of the bike. This is the drive side, this is the non-drive side. When you put a bike in a bike stand, always have the drive side out. When I am removing the bottom bracket, both cups, I turn to the right. I always think if I'm removing the bottom bracket cups, I am turning the direction to the handlebars. That was pretty simple. Oh, that one was nice too. Super stoked on how everything is popping out for me. Am I gonna run into a snag somewhere? Is the frame cracked? All right, frame's got some water in it, so it's dripping. First off, go ahead and cut this. 5mm hex wrench or Allen. Those come out. This bolt, 5mm. These brakes are in good shape. I'm digging them. I'm going to keep them just in case for a future project. Because I want to put V-brakes on it, or linear pull. Linear pull is the same thing as a V-brake. Linear pull was coined by Shimano. Two best V-brakes or linear pull brakes. Shimano XTR. Shimano XTs work fine. XTR just prettier. And Paul components, they're V-brakes. Beautiful, wonderful, I mean just awesome brakes. So nowadays, Shimano still makes a V-brake. So does Paul. Let's move on to the front brakes. All right, same thing, 5. Oh, I didn't cut the cable yet, but I'll get that out. If I was to use these brakes, I'm gonna need new brake pads. They're worn out, dry rotted, and pitted. All right, one thing this bike has is a suspension stem. They're kind of making a comeback. Nothing special, but I do expect this to maybe give me a little bit of hassle. So it's a 6. And then I'm gonna tap this with a hammer. Actually, it just gave right there. Boom, comes out. It was nicely greased. Perfect. One thing I'm gonna show you, if you don't have a frame alignment tool, all you need is a piece of string, piece of fishing line, and it works perfectly fine. So what I do is I attach piece of fishing line to the dropout. And I'm going to walk around the frame to the head tube and end it in the same spot that the other one is. I'm just going to kind of tie this off. Wasn't a Boy Scout. But that's okay. It's going to do exactly what I needed to do right now. The next step is, and I know this is a piece of fishing line, so you really can't see. Fishing line is here, fishing line is here. I measure the distance between the seat tube and the fishing line. This will give me an idea if the frame is bent. All I do is take a ruler, we look like we're in pretty good shape. Frames from the factory can be off 1 to 3 millimeters. Usually I see about 1 to 1.5 millimeters from the frame or from a factory, but overall I know this frame is good, so we're good. Now I want to give this frame a good wipe down after I've checked the frame, it's aligned, it'll be safe to go forward. Now let's wipe it down, see if we can find any cracks anywhere. There's a good chance that it's cracked. Hey, old frames crack, right? New frames even crack. Nothing is perfect. The majority of the for this style of bike of what it was intended for, not likely, but hey, maybe somebody got rowdy on it and tweaked it a little too much. So like in the tune-up, I do this. I just wipe the bike down, and this is when I am looking for any flaws. Any flaws that are going to cause an issue for the customer. I've got an idea of what color I want to paint this, but I'm not going to tell you yet because I want to do a little bit more research. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you at the end of this video. The headset feels pretty good. I'll probably keep the headset original unless I can come across a Chris King threaded 1-inch headset, relatively inexpensive. Chris King, I believe, make the best headsets in the world, and I like to put them on every one of my bikes. But this headset here, a good ball bearing headset, properly adjusted, overhauled with fresh bearings, fresh grease, really is pretty darn awesome too. All right, now it's time to get out a magnifying glass and let's look for any major flaws. It's a little pitted. When I turn this headset, I can feel notches. There's one there. But there's a good chance it's just not even adjusted properly. Let's go on the other side. One cool thing I'm pretty stoked is manufactured in the USA. Speed Merchants, Rockford, Michigan. They're the ones that sold the bike. Are you still with me? I have been holding on to this hub probably since 1998 or 99. It is a Shimano silent clutch hub. It's a 35 millimeter free hub body, so it works with 8, 9, and 10 speed cassettes. So I'm golden there. It's a QR. The cool thing about it is if you can hear it, there's nothing there. Hold on. Try to hear it again. Nothing there. Silent clutch. Love it. Doesn't make any noise when you're coasting. The other cool thing about it is silent clutch. So I originally acquired this rear hub to put on my trials bike back in the early 2000s when I rode trials. But because they have an instant engagement, it's not instant, but it was much better than a Pauled hub back then. So silent with fast engagement. The other option I have is a Shimano Ultegra. I have the wheel set, 9 speed, so 35 millimeter free hub body right here. Will work with 8, 9, and 10 speed. So the cool thing with using this hub set here is they're beautiful looking. The bearings are wonderful in them. They're ball bearings. Now, you're going to learn something about me in the future that I love a ball bearing hub. I love cup and cones. And the reason is it's a radial bearing. So as you're riding and you go to lean, there's equal force on your bearings from straight up to leaning. The negative towards this design here is it requires a lot more manufacturing and it's a little bit heavier. So most people just do cartridge bearings because all you have to do is just drill out that hub, slap in a cartridge bearing, you're good to go. I prefer a matching hub set over having mismatched hubs. So there's a good chance that I'll probably end up going with this. But one thing I need to check, the spacing on this hub is 130. Spacing on that silent clutch hub is 135. I have not checked the spacing on my frame yet. So let's go ahead and check that. All right, you ask what is spacing on a frame and why does it make a difference? So the spacing is from the inside of the frame through here. You can take a ruler and I need my readers on because I can't see. It's 135. Now, being a steel frame, it's not horribly important to go from 135 to 130 because steel flexes pretty good. You're only flexing at 2.5 millimeters on each side. That's not horrible. So this here fits in there beautifully. This is the road wheel, 130. I've got extra spacing. So am I ruining this frame by crushing it in? Being a steel frame, I'm not worried about it too much. You know, when you're doing a project like this, you want the proper tools so you can get the job done properly and have the best adjustment. Velocity quill rims, 36 hole if I use the Shimano Ultegra old school 9-speed hubs because they're wonderful. The Brooks saddle most likely, either the Cambium, which is a blue color, or the B17 Special V-brake or linear pull brakes. Would love to get my hands on a set of Shimano XTR, old school V-brakes, but I'll probably just do a pair of Livio or Dior's brand new. Shimano still makes those, and they're still available. Drivetrain I haven't decided on. I have a 9-speed SRAM XO rear right shifter and rear derailleur. Most likely a Thompson seat post, silver. I love silver parts on bikes, especially older bikes, but even nowadays I still use, when I build up a set of wheels for my bikes, I still use silver spokes because I love the sparkle in the sunlight. So I'll probably kind of keep a silver theme going on with this bike. I have an idea of what color I want to do. Either Bianchi Celeste color or that same color that the Atlantis uses. Love that color. Thanks for watching this video to the end. And if you have any comments or any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I love chit-chatting about bikes with my customers at the bike shop. So I'm just here hoping to pass this knowledge along to you if you have any questions. Or if you have any, hey, what about this? So I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.